even as we build credibility, I think it's a credibility not of IEBC only, but of the media and the country as a whole, and the political class in this country. I think the question also asked by Paul, the spokespersons of the regions. I think we have given, in our workshop in Mombasa, we have given all of us on the field to be able to address media and answer questions, issues in their under their domain. For example, during by-elections, you don't see the chairman commenting about the by-election in Madare or Makweli or anywhere. You will see the returning officer addressing the media, telling you about the voter turnout, the challenges, everything, because he is the person who has been gazetted to be in charge of the elections. So I think in future, what you have called local issues will be answered by the returning officers. They have got full authority to discuss and answer the questions that are put to them by the, of course, issues about policy or the general issues will come back to the Commission. But on the, overall, I think we've got very good, hardworking staff in the field who will answer those questions as you ask them. Now, Linus, the media is intention to report the results from in future. That's something which we have to discuss and agree on. Because we were in Scotland observing the referendum. And by the way, in Scotland, everything was manual. Everything was manual. It's a very old democracy, the UK. Their ballot paper was a simple piece of paper. The voter register was a printed 8 A4 sheet paper. People came with their voter's card. They were just given the ballot paper, and the ballot box was actually black, and they put it there. The good thing we saw is that the staff who were doing the elections were changed during the counting. So when they were working up to 10 o'clock at night. So they were obviously very tired. They oversaw the elections until 10 o'clock. Then a new staff came over and took over the ballot boxes, everything. They actually did a handing over ceremony. They were now called the counting staff, the counting clerks, who now went to the tallying center, and they were fresh, and they now started doing the counting. And the good thing I think we saw is that there were those who are counting the no ballot papers, those who are counting the yes ballot papers. After they finished counting for each polling station, they will exchange. Those who counted no will give it to the yes, those who counted the yes, and those who counted yes will give it to the no. And then they will again start afresh. To confirm, there was some level of checks and balances among themselves. But what I'm saying is this, all the media houses, number one, they were not reporting the elections the whole day. In the morning, there were other programs on BBC, on Sky TV. There were other things you could watch, you could put on the TV, and you don't see. Okay, when they're having the news hour, they will report on the election, whatever is happening across the voting, where either someone voted, where the other person voted, but they were not covering it 24 hours. But of course, the night from 10 o'clock when now they are receiving results. What they did is they stationed their cameras at every constituency headquarters. There were 13 of them. Here we have got 290. So there are cameras in every result announcement center. So, sorry, there were 32 tallying centers. And so whenever a returning officer is announcing officially in this local area, this is the following result for local no and yes, they will be able to carry it live. All the networks were carrying live the announcement of the returning officer. And then of course they were now adding up. Every media house was now doing its own addition. A time reached when the upper north of the Scotland, the islands, and they are called the Highlands, they are not arrived. But all media houses were able to declare a win for the no. All of them, because they knew that based on the result that they had, whatever is now remaining is not enough to change the results. So they were then able to make, and the chief returning officer did not complain against the media, because they were using official results of the Electoral Commission. So I hope that when you are doing the reporting as media, you will not report from, use your own journalist to report, but you report from what the returning officer has declared in the constituency. That way we can be at, we can agree on a code of conduct that you can do that. But if you were to report your own results, because some of the media houses are also biased, they are partisan, they are supporting particular candidates, and so they may want to report only from a section of the country and give the impression that this person is winning, well, that may not be the case. So if you have cameras in 290, and I know also it's not easy to send a camera to Marsabit, or to send a camera to Lodwa or Lamu, but it's very easy to deploy them in Nairobi County or Kajiado, where you come from. But that's not to say that every constituency is important. And therefore, if you are going to do actual reporting, I would suggest to the media that you please use the constituency returning officers' results or the county returning officers' results, CRO. We have got ROs at the constituency and the CROs. The media's, I think something else I want to say is that I know the media means well for the country, but also the media is neither a friend nor an enemy. It's a business. You sell. And so sometimes it is true, and I stand to be corrected, that if it sells to bash IEBC, if it sells to do a good negative story on IEBC, and the nation or the standard for that day will sell, you will do it. Let's be honest with each other. That hasn't happened. After 4th of March, and because of the readers, if I've been told this by a very senior editor, that well, our readers would like to know this kind of, would love this kind of stories, and that they do this because the readers are partly because of their readers' needs. But even as you try to scale up your sales, I think there must be need for objectivity. And also, as much as we want to bash the media to IEBC to get coverage or to get sales, I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of turn, but this is my own personal opinion. I think sometimes you have to also realize you have how much do you want to beat down the institution, how much do you want to beat it down so badly that it loses credibility completely. If you watch the movie called The Recount, which is based on a true story between George Al Gore and George Bush, it's based on that election. In that, and there's also a book called The Recount, again written about in that story, when the Supreme Court decided by 5-4 to give the election to George Bush, by 5-4. By the way, Al Gore had won the popular vote by 500,000. But Supreme Court justices, 9 of them, voted 5-4 to give it to George Bush. And now the Chief of Staff and the other staff, the media communication, were now drafting a press statement for Al Gore. And you can hear Al Gore telling them, whatever you do, don't trash the Supreme Court. Whatever you do, don't trash the Supreme Court. Why was he doing that? Institutions, you cannot kill institutions. Of course, the Supreme Court suffered serious credibility that time. But he didn't want to make it worse by giving it more weight. So, I'll tell you the same thing again. Whatever you do, please, as much as you want to bash the IEBC and get headlines for the Star, Paul, don't kill the IEBC. Now, training of journalists, I think is a very good idea. We need to have journalists who are experienced in election. We have election experts among the media. Who can we say is an election expert? I know some of you have got media journalists have sent who are very good in voting for elections.
It's an easy